So for the recent past, like I'm going to say the last 14 years, give or take a year or two, I've made it a point to be constantly spatially aware, meaning to know what is around me in my vicinity, let's say within 5 feet of my body, without looking, without double checking, just aware of where I am and what's around me. It's just an important thing that I feel is necessary. It's just part of me being me. So, an example. Last night, we were at church. I was at church for the kids program on Wednesday nights. And we were singing songs and hopping up and down and running around. And I can move a lot more freely in doing that because I'm aware of what's around me. There's one thing in my life that has changed my ability to have good spatial awareness. I still am aware of the space I am occupying and where I'm going to move next and can, obviously plan that out. But there's one thing that has interrupted my ability to move and work as freely as I want to. And that is my daughter. She's just over a year and a half old, or just over 1.5 years old, either way. And she doesn't move quietly. Like, most of the time when she's moving across the house, she's yelling. Like, she'll be running and going, ah, and stuff like that, which is hilarious and cute and funny. But sometimes she moves very quietly. If she's walking and like on one of her little missions to get something done, she moves very quietly. So if I'm in the kitchen preparing dinner and I go to turn from the counter to the stove, she might be right next to me or right behind me, and I don't know it because she moves so quietly and she's kind of out of my realm of peripheral vision because she's so much lower to the ground. I don't see her, I don't hear her, and then suddenly I'm bumping into her. This has only happened a couple of times. I'm learning to be more aware of the fact that she's going to be there. But as I'm dealing with that, I'm noticing more and more that kids in general, kids that are a lot older than her by 8 or 9 years, are having the same issue. They don't occupy a single amount of space for very long. They move a lot. When I was a kid, especially in school, this is just a testament to how much the school system has changed, the public school system. I would be still. I would sit at my assigned seat, or I would go to the line, or I would go to my locker. Like, there was no in between. It wasn't like I'm going to take the longest route to get there. It wasn't I'm going to dilly-dally around and talk with a friend. It's like, okay, I'm either in my chair or moving somewhere specifically with a purpose. And it made a lot easier, I'm sure, for my teacher to have students to do that, because I wasn't the only one. Even the kids that had trouble following directions and doing what they were told still understood that concept. Nowadays, that's not the case, and I really don't know, folks. Like, there is something different about today's students than there was 5 years ago when I started teaching, than there was 10 years ago when I was in high school, and then when there was 15 years ago when I was in middle school and elementary school. And I don't know what has changed. Is it the hormones that are in our foods? Is it the vaccines that they're getting at the hospital? Is it their parents doing too much or not doing enough? Is it the teachers who just have too high expectations? I don't know the answer to that, and it's really, really frustrating because some part of you wants to just like place them down and put an implant in their head that says, do this, because this is the way it's supposed to be done. But who's to say that's the way it's supposed to be done? Maybe it's not the way it's supposed to be done anymore. Maybe the world is changing and evolving to a new method of interaction, we'll say. I brought this up primarily because of the spatial awareness thing. I brought up because we've finally been parking in the garage again, which is great because winter is coming, and we want the cars to be in and out of the weather. But I had it set up as my workshop for a while, and we had our garage sale in there, so it's been a while since we parked the cars in the garage, let alone both cars in the garage. But we have a 2-car garage, but it's like literally just a 2-car garage. It's not even 20 by 20. And I just built a whole set of built-in shelves on one side, so that took up a lot of space. But we got it figured out to where if Mary Jane pulls in forward and I pull in backward, we can fit both cars in there and still be able to get in and out of them. And it's all well and good and fine. So that's what we do. But again, you have to be spatially aware. The reason I back in is, 1, because my vehicle is smaller, and 2, because I'm better at backing in. With the way our garage is oriented, Mary Jane would have a hard time doing that. And she's expressed that. She has said that I am not the one that's calling her out and saying that she's not good at it. I would very much like to be the one that gets to pull in straight. But it's not the case. So, just, I guess, 2 things. 1, be aware of the space you occupy and the space others occupy, and move accordingly with purpose. Don't move aimlessly. And 2, if our culture is changing from an interaction aspect, how do we, as the old school people, come to accept that? I realize I'm not old, but I am old school. I don't expect things or want things to be different. I would much rather it stay the way I've grown up accustomed to. But I'll see you this afternoon.